What follows is a complete timeline of all known canonical events in the Fallout universe. The Fallout world is not our own. It is set in a universe that diverged, but shares many historical milestones prior to the events of World War II. While it takes place in the future, it is not our future, but one reflecting a traditional 1950s-style science fiction world of tomorrow. This timeline is only for the chronological sequence of all events in the Fallout world events seen or mentioned in Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, all official Fallout game guides and supplementary materials like the Fallout Bible, as well as the Fallout TV series. Before 11,000 BP, Ubar thrives in the Rub al-Khali region 4,000 years before known human civilizations. 1066, October 14th, the Battle of Hastings is fought. 1215, Magna Carta is signed by King John of England and English barons, greatly limiting his authority as king. Toshiro Kago is abducted by Mothership Seda from Japan sometime during the Tokugawa shogunate starting on March 24th, 1603. 1605, November 5th, Guy Fawkes et al. Are arrested for attempting to blow up Parliament and assassinate James I of England. 1612, Captain John Smith lands in what would become known as Point Lookout. Commonwealth conman Parker Quinn references this year in his sales pitch for a charge card as a way to emphasize the outdated, antiquated value of bottle caps. 1634, March 25th, Lord Baltimore dispatches the first colonists to Maryland. They land in Point Lookout aboard ships called the Ark and the Dove. Boston Common is established. 1660, the old Granary Burying Ground is founded. 1680, the Paul Revere House is built in Boston, eventually becoming the oldest standing building in the entire city. 1690, the first issue of the Public Occurrences newspaper is published in Boston. 1692, the infamous Salem witch trials begin. 1697, May 17th, Andrew Endicott is abducted by Mothership Seda from Salem Village. 1711, the Great Fire occurs in Boston. Cabot House is built in Boston. 1713, the Old State House is built in Boston, eventually becoming the oldest public building in the city. 1714, the Swall Stradivarius is manufactured by Antonio Stradivari. 1723, Old North Church is built in Boston, eventually becoming the oldest standing church in the city. 1733, Trinity Church is founded in Boston. 1740, August 11th, Sam Weeks dies. 1742, the Faneuil Hall is completed and donated to Boston by Peter Faneuil. On May 25th, Shem Drown forges the gilded grasshopper and mounts it on the roof. 1744, February, William Shepard dies. 1755, Boston is damaged in the Cape Ann earthquake. Faneuil Hall is among the damaged buildings. 1768, June 28th, the gilded grasshopper weather vane is restored and returned to the top of the Faneuil Hall by Thomas Drown. 1770, March 5th, the Boston Massacre occurs outside Custom House Tower in Boston. Paul Revere buys what later becomes known as the Paul Revere House, where he lives with his family until 1800. 1774, Prickett's Fort is founded in West Virginia. It becomes the basis for an inaccurate tourist attraction centuries later, built by the Society of the Preservation of Historical Recreations. 1775, April 18th, Lieutenant Colonel Francis Smith marches with 1,700 British Army soldiers to Concord in an attempt to disarm American militia there. Robert Newman climbs the Old North Church and lights 2 lanterns to warn patriots of the incoming redcoats. April 19th, the Revolutionary War begins with the battles of Lexington and Concord. April 19th, the Siege of Boston begins. May 10th, the Second Continental Congress begins in Philadelphia. June 17th, the Battle of Bunker Hill occurs in Boston. 1776, March 17th, the Siege of Boston concludes with the British withdrawing from Boston. July 2nd, the Lee Resolution is enacted, declaring the independence of the 13 colonies from Great Britain, but not publicly. July 4th, the 13 colonies expand the Lee Resolution into a full public declaration of independence at the Second Continental Congress. July 9th, the colony of New York, having abstained from the declaration, declares its own independence. August 2nd, the last delegates signed the Declaration of Independence. 1787, September 17th, the Constitution of the United States is signed by the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Shamrock Tap House is established on the edge of the Theater District of Boston. 1788, the Constitution of the United States is ratified, officially making the 13 states united as a single republic. 1789, March 4th, the Constitution of the United States goes into effect. 1791, December 15th, the Bill of Rights is ratified, introducing 10 amendments to the Constitution. 1797, October 21st, the USS Constitution is built. Fort Adams is renamed Fort Independence at a ceremony presided over by President John Adams. 1798. The new Massachusetts State House is completed, remaining in use until the formation of the Commonwealths in 1969. The company UC Betha begins to produce triple distilled whiskey. 1814. Washington, D.C. is sacked during the War of 1812. 1816. May. Hopewell Cave is discovered. 1820. The cannon which will eventually be used for the broadsider is cast and put on the USS Constitution. 1823. President James Monroe's administration adopts the Monroe Doctrine, establishing the Western Hemisphere as the United States' sole sphere of influence and denying European powers the right to interfere. 1825. Construction begins on the Bunker Hill Monument in Boston. 1843. Construction ends on the Bunker Hill Monument in Boston. 1845. Summer. Henry David Thoreau settles at Walden Pond to develop his transcendentalist philosophy. 1846. Edgar Allan Poe publishes The Cask of Amontillado. 1850. The Dante and Virgil in Hell paintings is finished by William Adolphe Bouguereau. The paintings is found in both the Ghoul City of Underworld in the Museum of History and at Little Horn and Associates in the Scrapyard Office. 1851, Wildwood Cemetery is established. 1853, Bleak House by Charles Dickens is written and published. 1854, the Ticknor and Fields Publishing Company is founded at the Old Corner Bookstore. 1856, Grafton is founded. 1858, the White Spring Resort is built. 1861, June 3rd, the Battle of Philippi takes place at the first land skirmish of the American Civil War, resulting in a Union victory. A battlefield cemetery is subsequently established on the site. The Springfield rifle musket is manufactured. 1862. Abraham Lincoln is gifted a customized Henry repeater. September 17th. The Battle of Antietam takes place, the bloodiest of the American Civil War. September 22nd. President Abraham Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation. 1863. June 20th. West Virginia gains statehood. November 19th. President Abraham Lincoln gives the Gettysburg Address. 1865. April 1st. Union forces advanced on the Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia. Confederate forces burned the town before retreating. April 9th. Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrenders to Union General Ulysses S. Grant, symbolically ending the American Civil War. April 14th. President Abraham Lincoln is assassinated by Confederate loyalist John Wilkes Booth. He dies the next day. April 20th. The United States Department of War issues a wanted poster for the capture of John Wilkes Booth. 1866. Eastern Regional Penitentiary is founded. 1869. Helvetia is established. 1874. Jamaica Plain is incorporated into Boston. 1877. The present-day structure for Trinity Church is completed. 1879. James Ritty invents the cash register. 1887. Nellie Bly investigates the Women's Lunatic Asylum in New York City, New York. Her experiences are recounted in the 10 Days in a Madhouse. 1888. October 9th. The Washington Monument is opened. 1891. The final patent of Gatling gun model produced in Charleston, West Virginia is submitted. 1894. April 6th to May 14th. Lorenzo Cabot's expedition to Ubar in the Rub al-Khali takes place. 1895. The Shoalt Company is established. 1898. Lorenzo Cabot is imprisoned in Parsons State Insane Asylum by his son, Jack Cabot.